Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on the Cygnet earrings, and these earrings are using some of the beads from Eureka Crystal Beads Swan Lake collection. So the minute I saw this collection, I thought of the ballet and the dance of the little swans, or the dance of the cygnets. So if you haven't seen that, search for it. Just search for dance of the cygnets on, or dance of the little swans on in the YouTube search bar, and it'll just bring up, you know, that part. They're amazing. Anyway, so here's the earring. You can easily make this a bracelet. You can easily make this a pendant. You can even connect them, make a necklace. So I'm going to link this collection in the description box below the video. However, they do sell the items individually as well, and you might even have these in your stash. You might want other colors, who knows? Anyway, I'm going to clear this off and we'll get started. Let's get materials. It's going to need some gem duos. You need some 8mm chatons, 4mm pearl or 4mm round bead, 11/0, 15/0. You'll need a 3mm bugle bead. You'll need any color 11/0, a color that will go with whatever colors you're using. I'm using this from the collection. However, ignore those coral, pink, coralish ones in there. They got mixed up. They don't belong in there. 4mm bicone. I've got some ear wires, stop bead, 8-pound Fireline black satin, and I've got a needle case with 10, 11, and 12 needles, just, you know, so I have them available. I'm going to list everything in the description box below, the video, colors, shapes, sizes, how many of everything that you need. So please don't forget to click the down arrow or the show more. The box will open and all that information will be there. All right, so let's get started. So thread your needle with about 40 inches of thread, put on a stop bead in the middle, and we'll use both ends of the thread. So I picked up and dropped down to my stop bead, a gem duo, an 11/0, 4mm pearl, and 11/0. So I've used the color 11/0 from the collection here, and it's a mixed, they're mixed colors. So I just picked out colors that were the same or very similar. So I just did that 4 times, just like that. Next up, I'm just going to sew them into a circle. So I'm going to just sew up through that first gem duo after my stop bead. This is what it looks like. So I've sewn it into a circle. Now I'm just going to reinforce all the way around. So sew all through all the beads again and exit a pearl. Okay, so I've reinforced all the way around. I'm exiting a pearl. It doesn't matter which one, as long as you're just exiting a pearl. I'm going to pick up a bugle bead and I'm going to sew through the next pearl. Like that. I'm going to do that again. Bugle bead through the next pearl. Like that. So you can do that 2 more times. Okay, I've come all the way around with my my bugle bead. So I have a bugle bead in between each pearl. So I'm exiting a pearl. I'm just going to advance through the next 11/0, the gem duo, and the next 11/0. I'll move my hand in a second so you can see where I'm exiting. So I'm exiting right there. This is what it looks like so far. So I'm exiting the 11/0 after my gem duo. I'm going to pick up 5 15/0s and I'm going to sew through the next 11/0 after the next pearl, and you can just go ahead right through that next gem duo as well. So just like that. And then you're going to advance through that next 11/0 so you can put more beads on. So just like that. Then you're just going to do that same thing again. Pick up 5 of your 15/0s. Exiting this 11/0, I'm just going to sew through the 11/0 on the other side of the pearl and the gem duo. Like that. And then this 11/0. So I'm just going to repeat that 2 more times. Coming down to my last 5 15/0s to surround this pearl. So I'm just going to sew through the next 11/0 and just the gem duo right now. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, this is what I have so far. So I'm going to just put that needle aside. I'm exiting gem duo right there. I'm just going to put it aside and I'm going to flip my piece over to the back. So this is where the flat side is. And I'm exiting gem duo. I'm just going to sew through this 15/0. Let me get my needle in there, like that. And the pearl. So you want to be exiting the pearl on this side as well. So just like that. Okay, I'm going to pick up 5 15-0s. I'm exiting this pearl. I'm going to sew through the next pearl. So now we're making sort of the little cup, the little bezel for our stone. So it's just going to stick up like that. See that? You're just going to repeat that all the way around. Pick up 5 15-0s. Exiting the pearl, just sew through the next pearl. Like that. And do that a couple more times. Adding my last group of 5, sewing through that pearl. Now I have 4 of these little groups of 5 on. So you're exiting the pearl. I want you to sew up the first 3 15-0s of that first group of 15-0s. So just like that. Okay, so we are exiting that third bead. So you sewn up 1, 2 to bead number 3. So now I'm going to pick up 4 15-0s and I'm just going to sew through bead number 3 of the next group of 5. Right there. I'm going to do that again. 4 15-0s. Sew through bead number 3 of the next group of 5. I popped my stone in face down. It's not going to stay yet. So I'm using it face down. This is the back now. So I'm going to pick up my 4. I'm going to sew through bead number 3 of the next group of 5. Like that. And then you want to do that one more time. So pick up 4. Sew through that bead number 3 of, that was the original one we were coming out of. So that's bead number 3. Right there. And just hold your stone in like that. Now, yes, if you wanted to make this the front, you would put these on, the genduos on the other way, and then this could be the front of your component. All right, so I'm exiting that bead number 3. I'm just going to sew up the first 4 of my 15-0s. I'm just going to reinforce now. And then I'm going to skip this one right here and sew through the next 4. So you're just sewing through the 4 beads that you put on just to reinforce. It's going to pull it in. So just going to do that all the way around, and then we'll continue. Okay, this is what we have so far. So I'm just going to leave that needle and thread. We'll sew that in a bit. I'm going to turn around to the front. So we're exiting the gem duo, the bottom hole of a gem duo. So I'm just going to sew through the top hole, like that. So we're exiting the top hole of the gem duo. Actually, I'm just going to turn it around because I need to work with this front thread, but I'm going to be going through the back a little bit. So here I'm picking up a 15-0, a bugle bead, and a 15-0. I'm going to sew through the 2 beads. So this is my group of 4 here. I want to sew through the 2 center beads right there. So we're using the front thread, but I'm going, I'm sort of working my way to the back a little bit. So that puts that on like that. And I'm going to pick up, do that again, 15-0, bugle bead, 15-0, and I'm going to sew through the top hole of this gem duo. So you see how that puts it on like so? So I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. 15-0, bugle bead, 15-0, exiting here. Just going to find the 4 beads in, around the bezel here. I'm going to go through 2 of them in the center, like that. 15-0, bugle bead, 15-0, through the top hole of the next gem duo, like that. So that's just going to sort of give it a little back to it and sort of brace it a bit. So you don't really see that from the front, but this is what it looks like so far. So you're just going to continue that all the way around to my last 15-0 bugle bead, 15-0. So I'm exiting the center 2 beads of that group of 4 like we've been doing, and I'm just going to sew through the top hole of the next gem duo. You can go right, okay, there we go. All right. We're going to go down the 15 on the bugle bead anyway, but that's how it looks. Okay, so we're exiting the top hole of the genduo. So we put on all our, the bugle beads. So I'm just going to sew. I'm still using that front thread. The back thread you can just clip off right if you like. Sew it in and clip it off. So I'm just going to sew down through the 15-0 bugle bead and the 15-0. I'm going to pick up one of my Miyuki 11-0s, and I'm going to sew up through just the 15-0 and the bugle bead on this group right here. So I'm not going through that other 15-0 yet. I'm just exiting the bugle bead. I'm going to pick up an 11-0. So the Toho 11-0, the 4mm bicone and the Toho 11-0. I'm just going to sew down through not the 15-0, but the bugle bead and the 15-0. See that? Just to place that on. I'm going to sew through the 11-0 I put on. And now I'm going to sew up through the 15-0, the bugle bead on the other side. So right here. I know it's a little crazy. And then I'm going to go through this 15-0. So just like that. Okay, so let's move on. So I've already put a few more beads on, but this is what you'll look like. Your piece will look like. So I'm going to pick up, I'm exiting this 15-0. I'm going to pick up 4 of my Miyuki 11-0s, and I'm going to sew through this 15-0 on the other side of that genduo. So I want that corner decorated or embellished. And then I'm just going to come right through the genduo. So you see how I've just popped through the genduo? I know this is a little picky, but it works. So through the genduo and then up these two. And then I'm going to pick up a 15-0. Make it a little smaller one. And I'm going to sew through the last two, the other two 11-0s right there. So when you're looking at yours, you'll look like this. That'll be the start of your embellishment. Okay, so here I am. I'm exiting these two 11-0s. I'll put this. So what you'll have is you'll have this on right now. So you started with this group and you went to here. You're just going to repeat from here. So you'll be going down this group, putting on that one 11-0, up here out the bugle, 11-0, 4mm bicone 11-0, down the bugle, through again, and up through the top here. Then you're going to put your embellishment on the point. And you're going to do that all the way around until you get to your last point. So I'm going to put my 11-0 4mm bicone 11-0 here. I'm going to come up through here, and I'm just going to stop when I come through this 15-0 because we're going to add the ear wire on this unit, on this genduo right there. Okay, so I've come all the way around. I have 4 bicones on. I have 3 of my genduo tips embellished. I'm just going to turn my piece around here and just work from this side now. So you're exiting the 15-0. You can pick up 4 of your 11-0s. Those are the Miyukis. I'm going to sew through the 15-0 on the other side. So really nothing has changed yet. And then I'm going to go right through that bugle bead. I'm going to try to get it where I don't, through that genduo, like that. So I'm just trying to do it behind the thread. Do you see how I'm not crossing the thread? I'm going behind it. I know, like I said, it's a little picky, but it works. Like that. And then I'm going to sew up these 2. So just like we've done before. So instead of putting a 15-0 there, I'm going to put a genduo. So I'm going to pick up my genduo, and I'm just going to sew through the other side, the other two beads on the other side, and instead of a 15-0, that little point is going to sit right there. So I'm just going to go around again. So I'm going to come around through the genduo, through that genduo, and up these 2, and through the bottom hole of that genduo we put on. It's going to kind of wiggle around a bit until we get it all done. So now you have, the first part of your earring connection done. I'm going to pick up 4 of my 15-0s. I'm going to sew the top hole of the genduo. Come through this side. And you can embellish this any way you like. So just like that. Now I'm going to sew up those first 4 15-0s I put on. And I'm going to give it a little pull. Now it's starting to kind of sit in place nicely. So just like that. I'm going to sew through the top hole of the genduo. So this is where I want your thread coming out. I'm going to pick up and have to look at my piece for a second. I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s and a 15-0. I'm just going to drop them down. I'll show you how we're going to do this. So like that. Make sure I'm doing this right. Yes. Okay. And then I'm going to sew through my earring, just my ear wire, and we'll adjust it a little bit. Don't worry about it if it doesn't stay. I'm going to pick up a 15-0 and 2 11-0s, and I'm going to sew through the other side of the genduo. This is where we'll just give it a pull, and you see how the ring is sitting between the is sitting really at the bottom of those 2 15-0s. It's not on the thread. Okay, so I'm exiting here. I'm going to sew up through these 2 11-0s. And let me grab my needle. I lost my needle. Here's where we are. We've sewn through the genduo. I'm going to sew up through these 2, just these 2 11-0s. Like that. All right, so you see when I pull it, the ear wire is still nestled on those 15-0s. I'm going to skip the 15-0s, and I'm going to go down the other 2 11-0s on the other side, and that's just going to stabilize that corner. See that? That's what it looks like. Now I'm just going to sew down through the 15-0s on this side, like that. Now originally I put an 11-0 here, thinking can you just go through? I don't know. I'm just going to put it here, and you can always decide whether you want to put it here. So I'm going to put an 11-0 right there, just to kind of stabilize that side. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to pick up an 11-0. And I'm going to sew through these 4. $15 on this side. And let's see how that looks. Oh, that looks good. All right, I'm happy with that. That looks great. Okay, and then you're just going to do some reinforcing here, so you can come through this whole group here, come around, and just till it feels I need to reinforce on this side. So I think, just until it feels nice and comfortable, and then come back and we'll finish up. Okay, so I've reinforced everything, and just a note, when you're coming around and reinforcing, the second time, I went through everything again. So just to make sure there was one thread connecting everybody, because, I just want to make sure everything comes out nice and straight and nice and even, and that seemed to work. So reinforce that a couple of times, and then you'll be done with your little Cygnet earrings or your little swans. All right, so here we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make these and post them on Facebook, even if you do other colors, and maybe you want to put a bicone here instead of a pearl. Who knows? I mean, you could really play with this any way you like. Make a bracelet, make a pendant, put your ear wire here instead of here. So many options. And even if you want this side to be the front, I mean, just play with it. It's so much fun. All right, so I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.